Oh my god, hey! Welcome back to my Stagey YouTube channel. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Mickey Joe and I'm obsessed with all things theatre. And it's been a difficult couple of years for the theatre community, it's been a difficult couple of years for the world. Everyone is sort of cautiously looking to 2022 as a year of hope and possibility and manifesting an improvement on this situation that we find ourselves in and that the theatre industry finds itself in. One of precariousness, uncertainty, and a certain amount of financial turmoil. So with that in mind, I am manifesting a lot more security for 2022, and I'm going to be bringing you today 10 productions to look forward to in 2022. And there are way more than that have already been announced. These are 10 shows that I particularly am looking forward to, and I'm going to tell you why you should be excited about them as well if you aren't already. So number 1 is Bonnie and Clyde in concert. This is happening this month at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane, and it is bringing Jeremy Jordan, original star of the Broadway production of Bonnie and Clyde, to the UK to perform this role. I could not be more excited. Somehow I have never seen Jeremy Jordan perform in person, and I'm just already losing my mind at how great this is going to be. He is an incredibly talented man who I'm a little bit in love with. To see him not only singing live, but performing and acting in a role that he created for the Broadway stage is insane, is crazy. The little theatre kid inside of me that discovered him years ago is dying at that prospect. There's a great cast announced to star alongside him in the concert, and it's going to be a really special night at the theatre. I also haven't seen Frozen yet, so this may be my first chance to see the newly renovated Theatre Royal Drury Lane, which I'm also super looking forward to. I have heard amazing things. The next production I'm excited about for 2022 is another concert. This one is from Quick Fantastic, the people who brought you Sunset Boulevard in concert with Maz Murray, as well as A Little Night Music in concert back when we were just getting out of lockdown. This time they are bringing Gypsy to the Alexandra Palace Theatre. With a score composed by Julie Stein and lyrics by the late great Stephen Sondheim, Gypsy is one of the great staples of classic American musical theatre. It's famously an exceptional role for brilliant actresses. It's earned Tony Awards for Ethel Merman, for Angela Lansbury, for Patti LuPone. Bernadette Peters has played this role. Imelda Staunton has played this role. It's a great, great vehicle for a star. And this time they're doing things a little bit differently. This production is going to have 7 brilliant musical theatre leading ladies sharing the role of Rose and performing it throughout the concert. I imagine it will be not dissimilar to the Actors Fund Funny Girl concert that was done years ago, the one that had Sutton Foster and Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth and Lilias White and Julia Murney singing People. If you haven't already looked at that on YouTube, go look it up right now. Thank me later. 10 more seconds. Starring in this one, we have Melanie LaBarry from Anne Juliet, we have Nicola Hughes, we have Kayala Settle, we have Rebecca Locke, we have Sally Ann Triplett, we have Samantha Spiro, we have Tracy Bennett. All of these amazing, incredible actresses. I can't even tell you which one I'm more excited for because I love Samantha Spiro, but Tracy Bennett in this role, seeing Kayala Settle live, hearing her sing live. Melanie Barry, I always love getting to hear her sing some more. It's a hugely anticipated night at the theatre. The who's who of the musical theatre community will be there. I'm expecting to run into a lot of friends, so it's going to be a great time. In at number 3, this is a show called A Typical Rainbow. I know very little about this, but it's been teased just recently. I don't even know if it's happening in 2022, but it seems like that's what's being suggested. This piece is written by JJ Green, who is an autistic actor who I discovered through social media, who advocates for neurodivergency in terms of performers, narratives, representation in the arts industry, which I think is fantastic, super important, and what better way to do that than with his own writing. A Typical Rainbow is being produced by Katie Lipson and Aria Entertainment, which anything they touch, you know, is going to be just a beautiful product. They've done some amazing work this past year on shows like Little Women at the Park Theatre, the last 5 years in the West End, so many brilliant projects. I'm particularly excited for this piece because from what I've read about it, it combines the ideas of JJ's own lived experience of being a queer child as well as being autistic, and I think that's a really interesting thing to explore that has been historically underrepresented on stage, and that's a viewpoint, a narrative I'm really interested to find out more about. The other play I'm very excited to go and see in 2022 is how do I say this on YouTube? It is Cock. This is a revival of a play by Mike Bartlett that is going to be running in the West End from March 2022 at the Ambassadors Theatre. I would suggest Googling Cock Ambassadors Theatre because just Googling Cock 2022 by itself may have different results. It is going to be starring stars of stage and screen Taron Egerton and Jonathan Bailey. Jonathan Bailey has worked sort of simultaneously on screen and in theatre for the past few years, earning a lot of acclaim on TV's Bridgerton, as well as for his performance in the revival of Company. I've seen him in various things before that. Taron Egerton has been doing a lot of cinema work, starring as Elton John, starring as Eddie the Eagle, starring in Kingsman. But before all of that, Taron Egerton, fun fact, was actually a winner of a very lucrative performance prize as a young drama student, which was the Stephen Sondheim Society Student Performer of the Year Award. Oh my gosh, did I get that right? So he has the theatre chops and the training, and I'm very excited to see him returning to his roots and to get to see him in this role. So if you want to find out more about this play, maybe you can Google Taron Egerton Cock 2022. Maybe that'll help. The next show I'm looking forward to in 2022 is another one of my favourite London theatres. This is going to be at the Young Vic Theatre, where the acclaimed Broadway revival of Oklahoma, casually referred to by fans as, is it Sexy Oklahoma? This whole video is going to get demonetized so hard. It's a bold, diverse, very different take on the classic Rodgers & Hammerstein musical, Oklahoma. I think it's going to do really well with UK audiences. We love an edgy revival. Where better for it to be staged than at one of London's edgiest venues, the Young Vic Theatre. Every time I've ever been to this theatre, I have been hugely and profoundly affected by the groundbreaking, jarring work that has been performed there. It's very Donmar Warehouse, very Many a Chocolate Factory, very that kind of energy, and I'm really excited to see it. I'm very excited to find out who is going to be cast. I'm just really thrilled. Next up is another play I'm very excited to see in 2022, and this is The Return of Jerusalem. Written by Jez Butterworth, Jerusalem is returning to the West End. It will be playing a 16-week run from April 2022 at the Apollo Theatre, and Mark Rylance will be returning to his award-winning portrayal of the character Rooster. This was running in the West End a few years ago when I was just beginning to really get into theatre, and it was a really hot ticket, and it was something I was kind of finding out about a little bit too late. Again, I didn't know anything at the time other than the fact it was hugely acclaimed, and Mark Rylance was giving this incredible performance, and I knew I wanted to go and see it. I did not end up being able to get tickets. It went to Broadway. He won awards for it over there. I became more and more jealous I hadn't been able to see it in the UK. Now I am desperate to see it, and thankfully the theatre gods have answered my prayers because it's going to be returning to the West End. It is definitely going to be a hot ticket, especially among the savvy theatre goers, and I cannot wait to go and see it. Next on my list of shows to be excited for in 2022, we are travelling up towards Manchester because Davina De Campo of RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 1 fame is going to be starring in a highly anticipated production of Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Not to be confused with Hedwig, she's not playing an owl. This is a rare UK production of the 90s cult off-Broadway queer one-person show by John Cameron Mitchell. It was adapted for film. It was then revived on Broadway with Neil Patrick Harris, Taye Diggs, Darren Criss. A major UK production has been anticipated for quite some time, and now it is finally going to be happening. The beauty of this is that queer performers being platformed on a show like RuPaul's Drag Race also makes them box office draws, and it will attract other people to the theatre who maybe wouldn't have considered seeing this production otherwise, which is a really exciting concept to me. If you are a Rent fan, if you are a Jonathan Larson fan, a Joe Iconis fan, if you are into that sort of rock musical theatre vibe, there is lots to enjoy about this show. It is edgy, it talks about gender and sexuality and love and philosophy. It's a really beautiful show that is one of my favourites, and I'm very excited to finally see a production of it in person. I've only ever seen recordings. Staying in Manchester, Ruthie Henshall is going to be starring in a revival of Stephen Sondheim's Passion at the Hope Mill Theatre. I'm a huge Sondheim fan, as you may know, and Passion is one of the shows that I still haven't actually been able to see live. Again, not produced very often in the UK. The last production happened just over 10 years ago at the Donmar Warehouse. Once again, I tried to get tickets and I couldn't. 2022 is the year I finally crossed these shows off my bucket list. This revival was teased at West End Live, and Ruthie Henshall showed a video clip that was then posted by What's on Stage, and the show itself wasn't actually announced, but it was just her having her makeup done with sort of artsy music playing in the background. I immediately turned to my friend Daz and said, she's doing Passion. This means she's doing Passion. I can't tell you how I knew, I just know these things. Very excited to find out who is going to be starring alongside her. Very excited to be able to return to the Hope Mill Theatre in Manchester. Manchester again. I love this venue. They always do brilliant work. I loved their production of MAME. I really enjoyed their production of Rent, and I was hoping to be able to go and see The Wiz. Sadly, it was cancelled due to COVID within the cast, so I'm very excited to return to that production. The next show I'm looking forward to seeing in 2022 is But I'm a Cheerleader. The new musical version of the cult 90s LGBT film is opening in February at the Turbine Theatre in Battersea, which is run by Paul Taylor Mills, who you may know as one of the producers behind the UK productions of Heathers. This is a show I got to see a preview of a few years ago at MT Fest, back when it was running at the Other Palace Theatre, and Bronte Barbet, Carrie Hope Fletcher, Jamie Moscato, and a whole host of other talented people in that cast performed a shortened version of the show. I was really excited for it. I thought the score was incredibly dynamic. I thought it was an important story to tell on stage. I've spoken a little bit before on this channel about how LGBT women and queer women are historically underrepresented plot-wise in musical theatre, so I'm really excited for this show to be platformed. It has some lovely, heartwarming characters and narratives and some beautiful songs. I'm really hoping they get the casting for this right. I would love to see some queer women have the chance to play these characters on stage. I think that would be incredibly meaningful, and I really just can't wait to see it. My number one most anticipated show for 2022 is Legally Blonde. It's not just that Legally Blonde is returning to London, it's that Legally Blonde is returning to London at one of my 3 favourite theatres of all time, and the least expected theatre for it to ever play, Regent's Park Open Air Theatre. You heard me right, open air Legally Blonde. With the trees and the pigeons, occasional plane, potentially a thunderstorm. Be prepared. So if you don't know this venue, this is an outdoor amphitheatre in the middle of Regent's Park. It does beautiful, stunning work and often controversial revivals, or at least very different revivals. If you saw their productions of Jesus Christ Superstar or Evita or this summer's revival of Carousel, you know it's very different to the original source material. They're not afraid to make changes in making these bold and fearless adaptations. The director that will be helming the Legally Blonde revival is Lucy Moss, one of the writers of Six, who made her directing debut directing Six on Broadway, becoming the youngest female director in Broadway history. She then went on to direct the digital version of the Ratatouille musical, if you watched that. So she's been doing some really exciting work. And with Lucy Moss at the helm, I absolutely trust this to be a production of Legally Blonde unlike any we have seen before. I have heard rumours about the casting and audition process for this revival, that they are not feeling super tethered to traditional casting expectations of gender, which I think is a great thing. I think these are boundaries and walls that have long needed to be broken down in musical theatre, and I'm very excited to see what they do with this casting. I am manifesting seeing more performers of colour in these traditionally white roles that are white for no reason, that are always cast in this certain aesthetic way that is not necessary. Why does Elle always have to be a white cisgendered woman? What is the point of this? I'm manifesting seeing more trans performers. We have seen an abundance of trans talent breaking through onto stages this year. I'm so excited to see them given bigger platforms and opportunities. So I cannot overstate how much I'm looking forward to seeing Legally Blonde at Regent's Park Open Air Theatre. However, if you are looking forward to this production thinking it will be just like the Legally Blonde you have seen before, you are quite incorrect. I can almost guarantee you it is going to be staggeringly different. It will still be a party, it will still sound great because it's Legally Blonde. It's such a fun show. Who doesn't love Legally Blonde? Is it you? Are you the one? You're wrong. I'm telling you now. So those are 10 shows that I'm looking forward to in 2022, but there are so many more that have been announced, so I'm so excited to find out which shows you are looking forward to seeing the most. What have you already got tickets for? Let me know in the comments section down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it has given you some hope for the theatrical year to come and maybe some recommendations. Go out, buy tickets to these shows, help support the theatre industry on its way back from this crisis. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel for lots more stagey content, including hopefully videos about all of these shows that I will be seeing this year, as well as many more. I already have a lot of exciting invitations lined up for January, and I cannot wait to tell you about all of those shows. Also, if you want to support me as a stagey content creator, head over to patreon.com/MickeyJoeTheatre, where you can gain access to all sorts of exclusive photo and video content. I hope that everyone is staying safe and that you have a stagey 2022.
For 10 more seconds, I'm Mickey Joe Theatre. Oh my god, hey, thanks for watching, have a stagey day. Subscribe!